Without any further waste of time, standing before you here, it's Makondo ES from Mopani East, responsible for mathematics. I'm the one who will be chairing this session. Let me take this opportunity, colleagues, to introduce our plenary speaker for this session. Our plenary speaker for this session, it's a foundation phase senior education specialist coordinating mathematics and coding and robotics in foundation phase. Her specialty is elementary mathematics. She obtained her JPTD at Lemena College in 1995, BA degree in EECD and foundation phase in 2013 in University of KwaZulu-Natal, ECD with the University of South Africa, UNISA. She was employed by the Department of Education in 1996 as a teacher for 22 years. Promoted to be the departmental head in 2018, and in late 2018, she was promoted to be a senior education specialist for foundation phase in Mopani East District. She is heading a pilot for teaching mathematics with understanding, usually known as TMU, in 5 schools in the district where she's working. Since then, she has been conducting teacher development workshops on topics such as TMU, lesson study. She is also a head of mathematics in provincial reading competition for foundation phase in Limpopo province. Presented a plenary at Limpopo AMESA Regional Conference in 2022 and 2023. Attended an international conference organized by JICA, Japan, at Western University in 2022. Participated in the development of DBE, learning and teaching material for grade 1 to 3 in mathematics. Configuring diagnostic assessment for grade 3 and versioning of materials and HEPs for Xitsonga mother language. She has a diverse and extensive experience in the qualification in foundation phase mathematics education. She gained this through engaging in different academic structures and their innovative teaching methods, position her as a valuable asset in the field of mathematics education in the foundation phase, coupled with excellent leadership. Our plenary speaker is none other than Ms. R. Maluleke. May we put our hands together for Ms. R. Maluleke. The topic, or her topic, is as follows. From classroom practice to systemic support in envisioning equitable mathematics education in Limpopo's foundation phase. Over to you.
Thank you, Program Director. Good morning, colleagues. How are you this morning? I want to thank the person who sang the song today, Hayo Matata. I needed that song. So you were godsend. So I want to thank the committee, everybody from AMESA for giving me this opportunity. I'm just a teacher. I'm a teacher. I teach in class. I'm not a researcher, nor a professor, nor a doctor. I'm just a teacher. I'm not a scholar. I'm here to share with you my teaching practice from the classroom and where I'm working now as a subject advisor. So, colleagues, as I was presented with this topic, envisioning mathematics, equitable, and engagement, I was like, wow, what is this? So I tried to make my introduction as why this topic matters to me. The theme of equitable mathematics, in particular in Limpopo, is very relevant, where there are learning gaps, under-resourced schools, and underqualified teachers that pose significant challenges. As a mathematics subject advisor who previously served as a foundation phase teacher, I have observed the first-hand disconnect between the policy and the classroom realities. On this paper, colleagues, I want to draw both roles from discussing on how relevance, engagement, and equity can be actualized in mathematics teaching. Before I can talk about my roles as a teacher and a subject advisor, let me outline that the NDP has outlined a comprehensive vision for South Africa education system that is aiming to address the legacy of the apartheid and to promote growth. As a country, we want to eradicate poverty and unemployment through education. There are key pillars or aspects that the NDP education extracts. The first one, that is high quality early childhood education. The second one is the quality of education that we are having in our school. As the quality of school education is where we will be achieving literacy and numeracy standards that are globally competitive with a target of 90% of learners passing subjects like languages, maths, and science with at least 50%. My question is, where are we now? Are we there as a country to produce learners who will perform at 50%, 90% of the learners who will perform at 50% in both languages, numeracy, and science? Looking at the higher education and further education training, which will provide people with their opportunities to reach their full potential as we improve our mathematics teaching. As I continue, colleagues, let me also tell you that the NDP is aimed to achieve the goals by improving human capacity, which is developing teachers and educators to deliver high-quality education, of which our government is doing. As Limpopo Department, they have started to develop teachers on high-quality education. As I'm speaking to you now, there are a number of teachers, 100 teachers, who are taken to vets to improve their mathematics teaching. So it means our department has looked at the vision and they are running with it, the Vision 2020. Again, the NDP is results-orientated, that mutual accountability is needed. The NDP's vision for education also aims to address poverty and inequality. Why are they going to do this? By providing quality education that equips individuals with the skills and knowledge to succeed. It also aims to promote inclusive growth by ensuring that all South Africans have access to quality education irrespective of background. Furthermore, the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, Section 29, also states that everyone has a right to a basic education, including adult education. My question again, are we providing the high quality education? Is everyone have access to basic education? As we check in our rural areas, there are still kids who are not in school. Remember, our previous president said or came with the notion of saying Vangasali. Vangasali is a Tsonga saying that says, let's take them all to schools. So are we doing that as a country? Colleagues, let me clarify my roles as a teacher and subject advisor. My professional journey began as a foundation phase teacher where I developed a strong belief in contextualized and child-centered approach to mathematics. I currently serve as a senior education specialist in Mopani East District, supporting over 70 schools. My responsibility include monitoring curriculum coverage, facilitating teacher training, mediating national policies such as annual teaching plan, and teaching mathematics for understanding, that is TMU, and also developing CAPS-aligned learning tasks. I also explore further the teaching of mathematics in Japan, where we were funded by the Limpopo Department in 2022. So, colleagues, let me look at the core concept of the conference, which is equity, relevance, and engagement. When we speak about equity, I said to myself, how do I define this word? Only to find that is ensuring all learners, regardless of the background, the language, and have access to quality mathematics instruction. So how do we do that as teachers? Make sure that everyone has access regardless of background, language, or their ability to access quality mathematics. As foundation phase colleagues, you'll bear with me that our classroom by now should be dirty. Dirty in such a way that we collect everything that we come across. As we are drinking water here now, these bottles, I see the bottle tops on them that we use for counting. When I look at the bottles, I see counting resources. Well, learners, as a teacher, you have to number them. So we don't have to buy anything. So that is making equitable access. I also look at the word relevance, making mathematics meaningful, connecting it to learners' lived experiences and cultures. How do we make mathematics, colleagues, to be relevant to our learners that we are teaching? Because when you look at our country, South Africa, it's more of a rural. Why can't we do cultural approach in our classes in providing mathematics? I also check, where do you come from? This is what we should do as teachers. We look at the learner's background. What is it that is in there? Most of our schools are from rural areas where there are kraals, where there are cows, where there are pigs. We can use that in teaching mathematics. You can ask learners, how many legs does the cow have? How many cows do you have in your home? If they are having 3 cows, then you ask, how many legs are the 3 cows have? So we bring mathematics in the learners' lived experiences and their cultures that they are coming from. Where I'm coming from a village where we still have those Randavel houses that we used to paint to decorate during Christmas. Now, as I look at them, I see patterns that our mothers are making there. So we can bring that into our teaching. This is where learners could easily connect with mathematics, because when you speak about patterns and you speak about the shapes, they will see them every day at their homes. Coming to engagement, how do we engage learners? By encouraging curiosity and active participation through interactive and learner-centered approach. In our teaching colleagues, let's make sure that it is teacher-centered. Let us not always go to the chalkboard and do the talking and write. How do we encourage? How do we make learners curious? It's by bringing resources in the classroom. You allow learners to touch them. You allow learners to manipulate. As I've already indicated, that the bottle tops and the sticks, those who are in urban areas, they can use ice cream sticks. It's easily accessible. So you engage learners. You ask learners to make counting using those things. Looking at my classroom practice, what are the lessons that I've learned from teaching? As a foundation phase teacher, I developed strategy to engage learners through mathematics by storytelling. I will also use visual presentation and contextual games. One memorable example which I used when I was introducing my subtraction, I used a story which was problem solving. It was in a grade 1 class. I said to my learners, as I was coming to school, as I was moving along the road, I saw houses burning. Those are the examples of the houses that I gave. I said to the learners, I saw houses burning in Sobos Row. Those learners, they know where Nsobo stays and how many houses are there by Sobos Street. So I asked them, how many houses were not burning? Then the learners were responding curiously, wanted to know. With some, they were excited to say, Ma'am is talking about my place. But the real sense, I wanted to bring learners to the context, to imagine the houses. One was very sad to say, is it not my house that is burning? So some will peep through the window and try to check which house is burning. And they were able to count and able to see. Then I asked, how many houses were burning? Then they tell me 3 houses. But they haven't yet developed number sense. But by bringing that story of houses, and they knew the houses that they are living next to, they were able to count how many houses were not burned. Because everybody wanted to know, is it not my house that is burning? So those are some of the experiences that I use as a teacher. Mathematical storytelling to frame problem in familiar context is one of the examples. I also use game-based learning and number lines with animals to visualize quantity and operation. I will draw a number line and put animals on the first column, second, third. Then I will ask, what is the 4th animal? By then, learners did not learn about ordinal numbers. They know nothing. But looking at the number line with pictures of animals, different animals, I will ask them, what is the 3rd animal? Then they will be able to respond, the 3rd animal is a snake, or the 4th animal is a donkey. So by that, learners will be able to respond to me mathematical. I also use game-based. Those are the pictures that I derived. We will use the Diketo. You know the Diketo, where learners will collect 20 stones, and they play. Remember, there's progression. You start by taking 1, then 2, then 3. So by that, we were emphasizing counting in ones, counting in twos, as they were playing. Because in foundation phase, colleagues, when we say we learn by playing, the play must be constructive. You must know what is your focus. You must know what is it that you achieve. Not than letting learners play with stones without even having a focus or having a skill that you want them to acquire. The murabaraba, we call it nchuba in my language. Even nchuba, I use nchuba as counting. Learners will do multiplication by playing nchuba. Learners will know what is a row, what is a column, as they will be playing nchuba. So a lot of skills will be acquired through those indigenous play games. Other activities, colleagues, that we might use in our foundation phase classroom, the teens. As we grow, we used to put teens. I know some of you, you know the bati. We will peg teens on top of each other, and we will count them quickly and delete it. Then, with that, learners will learn counting with speed, and mental maths is developing by playing those, and fluency is developing. Also, murabaraba, it encourages critical thinking. The problem solving again. Even the hopscotch, colleagues. These are the activities that we must bring in our classroom to develop mathematics. We don't have to have fancy resources, because in most cases when you go to school, why are you not teaching? Teachers will tell you, we don't have resources. Meanwhile, resources is with us. So I'm saying to you, colleagues, let us be cultural responsive. What we have, we bring it to our mathematical classroom. The hopscotch, we used to play hopscotch, A, B, C, D, and we name it Pule. You know that hopscotch. We can do it with mathematics. Counting in twos, counting in fives. Learners will play that game as they are learning. So that is what we say, learning through play. Even wool, colleagues. Most of us, we don't know wool. It's where we used to have a wool with 2 hands, and we pick up the wool and we make that thing. There are shapes there. We can encourage learners to play that game in pairs. Then they will be developed. You ask them, what shape is there? What is it that you see? What have you made? Our learners will be creative by playing that. But in your mind, you will be knowing that there is a skill that I'm inculcating to these learners. Throwing a ball. We used to play that game. We can bring that game. It's like cricket. We used to play it as a traditional game, but now it's cricket. You will throw a ball far away, and then you start running by counting your round. So, colleagues, we can do those games, more especially as now we are encouraging mental maths in our classroom. They can play that game as a replacement of mental maths. What I was talking about, colleagues, when I say we must be cultural responsive. Kruger, the professor from University of Northwest, emphasized that indigenous games can help to reduce negative feelings in learners, can also prevent behavioral problems. It can also mitigate the acts of violence among learners.
Colleagues, she will continue. We have visitors here. The AMESA is here. So now I will request everyone to rise as they are entering. Thereafter, we shall continue. Thank you, colleagues. As I said before, you'll still get time to keep on, singing, but we need to continue. Thank you very much. So let us now proceed with our presentations.
Thank you. I needed that break. This is a hot seat, eh? Colleagues, as I was saying, that Evan Kruger, who is a professor in the University of Northwest, supports indigenous games. Moreover, indigenous games offer cognitive benefits as well. These games require strategic thinking, quick decision-making, and problem-solving, enhancing children's cognitive abilities. So, colleagues, as we are playing indigenous games in our classes, it's not about play only. It's to develop the learner's critical thinking. Imagine as they will be playing the murabaraba. There are some thinking that learners has to do as they play murabaraba. Even the issue of the wool that I was telling to you, it needs learners to be creative. It also assists or prevents behavioral problems. There are learners who are bullied in class or learners who are not social. As you introduce these games to them and you make those bully ones to be the leader of the group, it will reduce the behavioral problem. So, colleagues, as I'm sharing to you the experiences that I used as a teacher, I also use personalization. This is incorporating learners' hobbies. In my class, I used to ask my learners when I want to introduce a watch. I know that my learners watch, most of them, they do watch TV. So I will ask them, what is your favorite soapy? They will all say, Mubango. Then I said, today I want us to make a watch. So I will allow my learners to draw a circle using a hard cardboard. So everybody will take that circle home. I will tell them to say, when it's time for Mubango, ask your mother to show you the watch and you indicate the time that is there. And already I knew Mubango starts at 9 o'clock. So all the learners will mark their watch at home as they go home. Then tomorrow I will check. I will see everybody marked their watch at 12 o'clock. Then the next day, on Friday, I will tell them, I want you on Saturday to watch the soccer game. What time does the soccer game start? They will say 3 o'clock. I said, no, I don't know. Go home with the very same watch and you go and mark. Everybody will go and mark. When the game starts, they will look at the watch. Even if they are playing, some will rush because I will get complaints from the parents to say, hey, Rebecca, you are disturbing us because learners are coming running. They need a watch and I don't have a watch. We have to buy a watch so that they see the time. So they will indicate the 3 o'clock. Then I will ask them, there is Tigo Ashetlel in our language, that program. I knew it started at 6 o'clock. I don't know Linaka Spedi is Tovela Tsila. I don't know that program that started at 6 o'clock. So everybody will go home and listen to that program. And they will look at the watch, 6 o'clock. So that was my way of introducing a watch. So after that, I will ask learners to draw their own watch that they have at home. Because I knew the watches that they are having have got sticks, they don't have numbers. But some, they will use their mother's wristwatch. So as they were drawing, some watches will have wings. To me, it was wings because I expected a clock that is round. That is where we are wrong, colleagues. I did not ask the learner why your watch is having the wings. I said, this is not a watch. So as I'm learning now, that's why I should have asked the learner, what type of watch is this? Then the learner will explain, it's my mother's wrist watch, not the one that you are expecting. I'm bringing this to you, colleagues. Whatever answers your learners are giving, try to find out how they reach to that answer. Rather than judging the learner, we must allow our learners to explain what they have done. Colleagues, let me also share my experience as a subject advisor from the systemic support. As a subject advisor, I work to scale such effective practice by mediating the ATP and the TMU framework to help teachers to understand progression and pacing. The TMU framework, colleagues, is a framework that for South Africa, teaching mathematics for understanding, that will be used as a basis for developing the national mathematics improvement.
Sorry, colleagues, we shall continue. We still have other visitors. The House of Traditional Leaders are here. They are about to come in. Shall we do the same, please? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we allow the presenter to continue? Ma'am Maluleke, please continue.
Thank you, Program Director. Colleagues, as I've indicated earlier on that I'm in charge of TMU in my district. The piloting schools are 5, but as a country, we are piloting TMU in 3 provinces. That is the KZN, the Limpopo province, and the Eastern Cape. These are the provinces that are piloting TMU. We call it Mathematics Teaching and Learning Framework for South Africa. This framework is going to be used as a basis for developing the National Mathematics Improvement Plan. Remember, colleagues, I said I'm sharing what I've learned through my teaching experiences. So the framework provides the narrative of the key implication in the transformation of mathematics teaching in South Africa. This is the framework that I'm talking about. It has got 4 dimensions, which is the conceptual understanding, procedural fluency, strategic competency, reasoning. Amongst these 4 pillars, colleagues, we have to develop skills. In these 4 pillars, learners must make sense of mathematics. They should be problem solving. They should be able to justify their answers. They should be able to connect the topics and the concept. With this, We should be able to practice procedures as they will be learning their mathematics. When we do procedural fluency, colleagues, this is a skill that is carrying out the procedures, flexibility, accuracy, and efficiently, appropriately. When we talk about strategic competency, is the ability to formulate or to represent or to solve mathematical problems, that is application. When we talk about reasoning, these are the dimensions that are focused within the framework. Learners should have the capacity for logic of thought. They should be able to reflect, they should be able to justify, they should be able to explain their maths problem. Colleagues, as I spoke about the 4 dimensions, the first one is the conceptualizing. We have to develop number concept. The TMU is an approach that is assisting the foundation phase to develop number concept. We cannot do anything without the number sense. When we look at our CAPS document, of which now we are trying to strengthening it, when you start from grade R, and the number range is 1 to 5, you go first term. Then you go to grade 1, the number range is 1 to 10. You go to grade 2, number range is 1 to 15 in term 1. Learners must learn that. We mustn't make them add before they can know what is 1, what is 2, what is 3. They must be able to identify the numbers. They must be able to name the numbers. That is developing number concept. You look at the ruler there. Learners must be able to know what is 9 and be able to write number 9 in words. Now we are using our home languages where learners have difficulty in learning their home language. This is where we must start. You look at the second example, that is green, number quantification. You use a resource, as I was telling you that when I look at this bottle, this is where we should label the bottles 1, 2, 3. Learners should be able to attach a number to a particular quantity. We should also encourage learners to sabotage. When they sabotage, is to say an answer instantly without even counting, by recognizing. We should encourage our learners to look at these people at this hall. They will be able to estimate, to say, in this hall, I think there are 500 people. So that is what it's all about. Again, when we do developing number concept, it's a one-to-one correspondence. Learners should attach something to a particular, it's one-on-one. When it comes to sharing, we start, that's where we have problems with fraction. I heard Professor talks about the fraction. It means our learners in the foundation phase, they haven't developed number sense. They haven't done the one-on-one correspondence because they should be able to share. That's where fraction starts in the foundation phase when we introduce sharing. And when we do addition, we must start with 1 up to 9 before introducing the 10th number, which is 10. So learners must know is 1, is 2, is 3, bottle tops there. So they are using pictorials for conceptual understanding. Learners, they are using papers to identify what is a row, what is a column. There, learners now, they are using the procedural fluency. Also, colleagues, I used to facilitate workshops on assessment design, curriculum interpretation and instructional strategy, versioning diagnostic assessment into Xitsonga to ensure linguistic access for learners. Remember, we spoke about access to education. So I used to version mathematics mathematics documents into Xitsonga. So those are the types of assessment, colleagues, that we must use in mathematics. We must use summative, we must use baseline, all the types that I have mentioned there. But assessing for learning, what is it, colleagues? Are we assessing to learn what we are doing in our classroom, or are we assessing for learning? When we assess for learning, we identify the gaps, then we are able to remedy them, to mitigate them, and then we restructure our lesson plan, then we go again. The results, the department is complaining about our high performance of results. When you look at the results for foundation phase, it's with distinction, 90%. But you go to the class, it's not the real thing. Why? I'm asking you that question. Because in foundation phase, colleagues, we have checklists, we use rubrics, we use practical. Learners are allowed to speak. They can speak about the 2D shape. To say this is round, this can roll, it has got the 3 sides, it has got 4 veggies. They are allowed to say that. So if the learner is able to do that orally, they get the marks. So that's where you find the marks in the foundation. Hey, I can hear you. Hey. But this is the challenge, even if you are saying A. You ask the teacher, where is the instruction? Because it's just a rubric and some marks. What was the skill that you were trying to check? What is the outcome? There's none. So we must account for each and every mark, for each and every tool that we are using. Whether it's a checklist, you don't have to check and give marks. You must have a skill that you want to assess, and what is it that you want to achieve. So, colleagues, as I'm concluding, because my time is up, these are some of the grade R learners. This school is doing mathematics in English. It is in a rural area, it's not a former Model C, it's not a school that is in a township, it's a school that is in the village. They decided to do mathematics in English. But I'm worried because now we have the Bella Bill, the grade 4s are going to do mathematics in home language. So if those learners from grade R are learning mathematics in English, what is going to happen? Colleagues, what I've learned lastly as I'm about to conclude, the lesson that I learned from Japan, colleagues, is through lesson study. The reason we are not having so much mathematician in the foundation phase, remember we are not specialists in the foundation phase, more especially in our province. We teach all the subjects. Even in the provincial department, there's no speciality there, but some provinces are specialists. So colleagues, I'm saying to you, what if we do lesson study? What is lesson study? It's where a group of knowledgeable ones, the ones who are expertise in a particular topic, we sit together, we plan together, then we go and try the lesson. We teach while we observe you teaching, and as we are observing, we mustn't look for your faults. We must look at the classroom, number of learners that you are having, your resources in the classroom. We must look at how your learners are responding to you. In that way, colleagues, we will tell you at the end of the day how was the success of the learners. I think if we do lesson study, we sit together, we plan, we test the lesson, we will eradicate the poverty of mathematics in the foundation phase. Yeah. So, colleagues, I won't compare us with other countries. There's no special thing with South Africa. We are like other countries. Mathematics is a challenge. We have under-resourced schools. We have a problem of infrastructure. And our MEC is doing best in this one, in our province. We have so many schools that are coming. So I think this issue, it will be solved. Colleagues, what is it that I'm recommending to this House? I'm saying to support equitable, relevant, and engaging mathematics education. This is what I propose: improvement in infrastructure, resource usage we must monitor, we must expand training. Why I'm saying we expand training, colleagues, as subject advisor, we go to training for 2 weeks, but when we come back, we train teachers, it's 2 hours. We expect teachers to conceptualize everything in 2 hours. So let's look at that. I went for 3 weeks, but it's 2 hours for teachers. And after 12, they are tired. They are from teaching, but we expect them. I said, let's prioritize specialists. Let's audit, because our department is doing best in giving schools the resources. Resources are being provided, but they are not taken care of. So let's use the SASMs. If we give a school a resource, they must put it in the SASMs. That's where we will make school accountable of the resources that we have put them. In conclusion, colleagues, addressing marginalization in mathematics education, it requires commitment at both classroom and systemic level. By connecting lessons to learners' lived experiences, supporting teachers with sufficient time and training, and auditing resources, we realize the vision of equitable, relevant, and engaging mathematics education. Empowering teachers and learners alike ensures a more just educational future for all. As teachers of mind, we owe it to the nation to ensure that the vision and mission as enshrined in the NDP is realized. The output of the system must receive quality education that will make them employable and self-reliant. We need to revisit teaching methodology, staff capacity, resource provisioning, engagement, and all the barriers to learning. Where do we go from here? Thank you.
Thank you, Sisi Rebecca. Ladies and gentlemen, as if you read my mind, I was about to say, let's put our hands together for Sisi Rebecca. Can we put our hands together for Sisi Rebecca? Ladies and gentlemen, I have noticed as she was presenting, some of you were noting something down. It's fine. You will get time to ask questions because we have got a follow-up session. Just make sure that now you don't lose that paper where you wrote or you noted something. And then before I come up with the announcement to say from here, because we'll be going for parallel session, before I come with those announcements, let me now give this opportunity to our President, Memduba or Prof. Zwelithini, just to give me a direction, where do we go from here, before I come up with a... Thank you. I just wanted that directive to say that now we're now pausing, and then I'm going to request Mr. Khomeswane to come forward, maybe to do some introduction, I don't know.
Thank you, Program Director. Hosisiakame. I suspected. MEC, President, Prof. Mautu, ladies and gentlemen, guests, AMESA faithfuls, my job is just to introduce our speaker, who was born in what was called Louis-Trichardt. You know, our towns had names and then they have gone back to their names. Now Makado, a seasoned leader of the African National Congress and his progressive leagues. She cut her political teeth within the ranks of the ANC Youth League in the Vemba region and graduated from the Youth League to provincial deputy chairperson of the Limpopo province. And as community activist, she is a member of the South African Communist Party. She served as its district chair, and she's currently provincial treasurer in Limpopo. She's a member of the African National Congress, currently serving in the Provincial Executive Committee, Provincial Working Committee, and she's a convener of the PEC, that's the Provincial Executive Committee deployees to the Norman Mashabane region. She has served as the Executive Committee member and also later as the mayor of Makado local municipality. She was a member of the mayoral committee of Vemba district municipality and later became executive mayor at the district. She was deployed to the provincial legislature and appointed speaker of the legislature in Limpopo. And in March 2020, she was deployed to be MEC for the Department of Transport and Community Safety. Then she was appointed to a current position in the Limpopo Department of Education from 1st of July 2022, the position she's held to date. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the most businesslike MECs I've known. As energetic, as no nonsense, as cut to the chase as you can get. The one and only irrepressible MEC Mabongo Lerole Ramakanya. MEC?
Thank you so much, Macheron. Rovuar Sange. Oh, thank you so much, Program Director, and also Mr. Homuiswan, one of the most difficult surnames to pronounce. But let me take this time and greet my president and appreciate the leadership of AMESA. I had a chance to meet the team, I think from last year when they came to the department. But let me also share Machironi to Hoshia Rina, Hoshisiakamed. Let me also greet the esteemed guest, the Executive Dean, Professor Mautu, who's hosting us. Also, let me greet George Mashamba. But also amongst us, we have got our guests, both international, nationally, and also from the province. Let me take this time and greet all the professors that are here, the doctors that are here, and all the professionals. Because in this room, the minute you become a teacher, you are a professional. I want to take this time and greet all of you, and I'm very, very happy and excited to be here. I'm briefed that I should be able to acknowledge the presence of the SGB associations if they are here, also the leadership of the unions that is here this morning, and the distinguished delegates, that is who you are, our educators, the mathematicians, the researchers who are here, and ladies and gentlemen. I want to take this time and appreciate, we were talking about it, and we were saying, AMESA, you have actually chosen the time when it is most difficult, which is winter. But you have got the educators here. You have got the researchers here. You have got the professors from the different institutions here, and you have got everybody here. And I think you deserve a round of applause for yourselves. On behalf of Limpopo, I want to appreciate that as much as we are hosting the presidency in the province, we want to appreciate that you are holding your conference in our province. You could have chosen any other province, but you are hosting it here. And on behalf of the department, we also want to say thank you so much to the University of Limpopo for the collaboration and all the other logistical work. I know it has been a logistical nightmare to put it up together, but together, AMESA, the University of Limpopo, and all other institutions, you were able to find yourself yesterday opening the conference. And it is for that that we are very, very excited that you have also invited us as the department to come and greet the delegates who are here from across the length and breadth of South Africa. And we gather under the banner of mathematics, the universal language of logic, discovery, and progress. A language crucial to unlocking the potential of our province and our nation. I know and understand that the Congress officially began yesterday, though unfortunately, due to other competing official commitments, I could not be here. To the AMESA leadership and organizers, we extend our deepest gratitude for bringing the vital Congress to Limpopo. Your unwavering dedication and advancing mathematics education is the driving force behind innovation and excellence in our classrooms. Your theme, Mathematics for Sustainable Development, resonates powerfully with our mission in Limpopo. Today, delegates, we meet at a crucial juncture. The world races forward, driven by the fourth industrial revolution, a revolution built of algorithms, data science, artificial intelligence, and complex problem solving. At the heart of all these transformative forces lies mathematics. It is no longer merely a subject on a timetable. It is the foundational literacy for active citizenship, economic participation, and shaping the future. In Limpopo, we understand the challenges. We see the vast distance, the resource constraints, and the historical legacy that sometimes cast a long shadow over our learners' confidence in mathematics. However, let me be unequivocal. We view this not as just mere barriers, but as the calls to action, as opportunities for innovation and targeted intervention. Our commitment in Limpopo is clear, and we are resolute on the following issues. Elevating teaching excellence. We aim to intensify the support for our mathematics teachers. This means targeted professional development, access to quality resources, mentorship programs, and fostering communities to practice, communities like the one AMESA embraces. A confident, well-equipped teacher is the single most significant factor in igniting a passion for maths in a learner. We salute you, our educators. You are the frontline heroes in this battle for understanding. On bridging the resource gap, we are actively exploring innovative solutions, leveraging technology where feasible, and ensuring the equitable distribution of essential learning and teaching support materials. We are investing in specialist support and strengthening our subject advisory services. In fostering a culture of problem solving and application, on behalf of the province, we are moving beyond memorization learning. Our goal is to nurture learners who see mathematics not as an abstract symbol, but as a powerful toolkit for understanding their world. From analyzing local agricultural data to designing sustainable solutions to their communities, we encourage project-based learning and real-world applications, and I'm happy that I was able just to sit in the presentation as she was presenting, and some of these things, the way she was presenting, we could be able to see that project-based learning and the real-world application becomes the better way to solve difficult questions. On building resilience and confidence, we are actively working to dismantle the myth that maths is only for some. We are promoting positive mindset, celebrating the efforts and progress, and showcasing diverse role models in STEM fields, particularly our own success stories from Limpopo. And to all of us as the Congress delegates, this gathering should be far more than an academic conference. It is a process and a platform of innovation, a powerhouse of collaboration, and a beacon of hope. Over the next few days, you shall be sharing cutting-edge research, debate, pedagogical approaches, explore new technologies, and forge connections that transcend provincial and institutional boundaries. To our researchers, we are saying, share your insights generously. Please help us to translate complex findings into practical strategies for the diverse classrooms of Limpopo and all other provinces. To our master teachers and specialist mentors, we are requesting that continue to inspire and demonstrate your practical wisdom is invaluable. To our dedicated educators, be open, be curious, and absorb new ideas and connect with colleagues. You are the agents of change in your schools. To all delegates, challenge each other constructively. Seek solutions that are equitable and relevant to the South African context and also the African context. We, as the Department of Limpopo, we are not just a host, we want to be an active partner. We are eager to learn from the wealth of knowledge assembled here. We commit to taking the insights, strategies, and innovations generated at this Congress back to our districts and to our schools. We see AMESA as an ally in all the quest to improve mathematics outcomes to every child in Limpopo and also in other provinces. Let us use this Congress to rekindle our own passion for mathematics. Let us remember the thrill of solving complex problems, the elegance of logical proof, and the power of mathematical modeling. It is this passion transmitted from us to our learners that will truly transform our education space. Let us live here not just with the new knowledge, but with the renewed energy, concrete plans, and strengthened partnership. Let us commit to ensuring that every learner in Limpopo and across South Africa has the opportunity to master the language of mathematics, to unlock doors, to solve problems, and to build a future limited only by their imagination. And Program Director, it is therefore our honor and privilege on behalf of the Limpopo government to declare that this Congress is actually a greater beacon. Let us harness its collective brilliance. Let us debate, spark tangible strategies. Let's share commitments and dismantle the myth about mathematics, and we build the reality around the mathematics education. To every educator who is here, your resilience inspires us. To every scholar, your insights guide us. To every policymaker, your courage to enact bold change is demanded. Let us leave Limpopo not just with ideas, but with a pact to make mathematics education a powerful engine of justice, relevance, and an engagement for every child who is a national asset. And I think as the past speaker, as she was presenting, she also spoke about the policy that we as policymakers have debated, and actually the president has signed the BELA into the BELA Act. One of the issues that you should be able to understand about the Act is that we want to make our education also to be competitive in the space. There's a lot of TikToks and a lot of videos that you share amongst yourself where you will show a child in China and a child in South Africa. For us to be a competitive country, there should be changes. That is why the emphasis of a child being taught in mother tongue language. In other countries like China, in other countries, I just came back from Mozambique, they only have one language that is spoken. Even in other countries, even in Mozambique, they only have Portuguese and Shangaan. It's either the child is being taught in Shangaan or the child is being taught in Mozambique, in Portuguese. And in China, the child is taught in Mandarin. So at home, the child speaks Mandarin. In class, the child is taught in Mandarin. That is why when the child is learning, they are faster. So why BELA Act emphasizes on the mother tongue is because me and you today may want to argue that we are teaching our children mathematics like what she was showing, and in English when that child arrives at home, there is no one to continue talking to the child in English or in Afrikaans. They go to their vernacular or they go to the mother tongue. And that is why we want to protect the education. Because remember, you can't go to a competitive space when you are not equal on how you are going to compete. And that is why we are emphasizing that. We are also, on behalf of the province, and I think because I also sit at a national space, we are also talking to the universities. We were together in a meeting with Mr. Victor about how do we as well, within the curriculum of those that are in teaching, when they are in universities, start to bridge in the gap that is there in terms of language and in terms of the artificial intelligence and in terms of the knowledge on using a ICT in class. That discussion have started between us as government and the universities. But also, we are looking at saying what becomes the better way for us in education to improve, looking at our own situation. I can give you an example. Researchers are very, very critical on everything that we do. When we arrived in Mozambique, somebody tells us that you are making a fuss about children doing morning studies and afternoon studies, but see here, kids are at school at 6 and they leave at 6. And when we researched, it is not true. When they got their independence, because of not having enough infrastructure in the schools. Their classes are staggering. Other learners will come early in the morning and then they will leave at midday. A new class comes in at midday and finishes in the evening. But me and you, if that research, I did not understand it, when we see it on TikTok, we are too hard on ourselves. We start to insult ourselves. Bonan, others are starting 6 to 6. What did I say that you did not want to hear? I might have said something that you did not want to hear, and now the pot plant is coming after me. So, but I'm saying research becomes a very critical part of who we are, especially in education. So, President and the leadership of AMESA, we want to say to you, as we congratulate you for bringing all the brains, when we were sitting there with Mr. Mashamba, we were saying, these are the brains that we have in our schools in the whole of South Africa, internationally, when it comes to mathematics. We want you to really talk about teacher development and also talk about using the correct research. Let's move away from TikTok. Let's move away from videos that have been circulated many, many times because we don't know who was the researcher behind that information. Let's go back because you are professionals. And for my educators in Limpopo, you know I always argue that when you are a professional, you are going to use professional methods to verify your own data. So I want to wish you well. I'm very excited that we are hosting this conference. I can't wait for the strategies, for the implementation options that you want to apply in your own school. But I want to say to you, don't be too hard on yourself. Embrace what you can be able to achieve so that then when we achieve good grades for our learners. When you are too hard and you are busy judging yourself, you miss critical points because you want to compare yourself with somebody that you do not know how they've arrived at that research point. So at this morning, we will continue as policymakers. We are busy developing regulations, not guidelines, but regulations that will be able to assist the Bella Act to make sure that a learner and a teacher in class, they are protected, but above all, every child in our shores of South Africa can access education. But most importantly, we wish every child could be able to do mathematics. So I want to wish you well, and let's make sure that as we continue to say education is a societal matter, let's make sure we involve the parents, let's make sure we involve our SGB, and make sure that we embrace every child as they come into our yards. May the discussion be vibrant, the learning profound, and the collaborations enduring. Thank you so much, Ndodibo.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let us take our seat. Let me take this opportunity again to thank Mr. Khomoswane for introducing our speaker, our MEC, Mem Mabongo Lerule Ramakanya. And then once more, colleagues, let's put our hands together for both of them. Right, the way forward, let me call Prof. Zwelithini Bongani Dlamini to come forward, because there is like a slight change of the program, so that now he may come and give us the update on the program. Prof.
Good morning, everyone. Last night we decided to change the program a bit to accommodate the Honorable MEC's visit, and I hope the message is clear from Limpopo. And as we go to the next session, there are parallel sessions, which means all sessions will be shifted. The time now should be...
It was supposed to start
your time.
the time now.
Yeah.
17 minutes past 10.
It's 17 minutes past 10. So, which means we'll be going to the next parallel sessions. And after that, we have follow-up sessions that will take us up to past 11. And also after that, which means we will cut the program somewhere in the afternoon and reduce the time. And I've instructed my ICT and the program director that the amended program will be circulated. I hope that regional reps will come forward and assist in their WhatsApp communication, and also they will provide you with a link. We've got a link where you will see in the website of the Congress, specifically for the Congress, not the AMESA one, where the changed program will appear. So we'll do that as quick as possible, but as for now, I think we go for tea, and then after tea, then it will be the plenary sessions that appear as per program, but it will only be the time that will be shifted. So colleagues, before you move out, let us just remain seated so that our guests leave the room, and then soon after that, we are going to therefore go for tea and then go for the plenary sessions. And we are advised, as you can also see me here, I'm not longer attending to issues now. I'm only attending to issues at lunchtime. I'm also attending the Congress as of now onwards. So, another announcement.
People will collect, those who did not get name tags, their name tags, they will collect them now at the TC.
And those who don't have name tags, please go quickly to TC next to our building, the Dempster building, and get your name tags quickly. They are ready for you there at TC. Wait, colleagues, wait, colleagues, wait. Order, please. We are South Africans. We respect. Let's allow our senior, our colleagues and also our respectable guests to leave first. Then we can leave. Let's just observe that shortly, just the few minutes. Please. Please. Yeah.
Let's do the group picture first.
Okay, colleagues, you can leave